Hi guys, thank you and welcome back to my channel. So this week we're gonna go in and try on something a little bit more different. So we're not gonna do a makeup tutorial or a products review. This week we're actually gonna go in and try on this products right here. So this is the Lash Lift Eyelash Perming Kit. So we're gonna turn my lash from straight like this into curly like this. So if you've been curious how this lash lift at home kit works, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel right down below. Ring the bell button right here for next notification. I post on YouTube almost every single Wednesday. Also a smaller version on IGTV every single Friday. And with that said, don't forget to follow me on all my social media at bella.c.snow. Okay, so let's go in and start this lash lift right here. So I just want to say that if you are really interested in doing this lash lift or you want to do this lash lift at home, I would recommend watching the whole video from beginning to end to make sure you know all the steps and what my recommendations are before you start doing your lash lift at home. So let's go in, get a little bit more dangerous and start this lash lift, and hopefully my eyelashes is not gonna start falling off and that would not be cute. Okay, let's go start on this kit right here. Okay, so let's get started on this week lash lift video, I guess. So first off, I just want to say I'm not like a professional licensed esthetician or licensed lash lifting people, whatever. So we're practically just doing this for like entertainment. So first, just be careful with this one. You can practically order this kit anywhere, and I believe the some pro stores that actually use the same kit. And doing this, you practically need a really steady hand, and if you're not comfortable doing this or having like a really steady hand, I would recommend you go to like a professional to get your lash lift done rather than trying to attempt to do it at yourself, because if you kind of do this wrong, it might burn or irritate your eye a little bit, or worse, it might make your eyelashes fall off completely, because this is practically kind of like doing a bleach, or it's not a bleach, it's kind of like a perm to your hair. So it does kind of like slightly curl your hair, and with that it's kind of, I would say it's kind of damaged your hair because it's kind of like a perm. But yeah, so I just want to say that just be really careful when you doing this at home. So I got this kit on Amazon. There's many different kits that you can find on Amazon if you just Google or Amazon lash lift kits. So this one is one of the kits I saw like a lot of people use and have a lot of good review for this one. So actually I did my lash lift. If you haven't noticed, my lash was lift like a curl like for like a few months. For like, I think 2 or 3 months ago, and I did for my first time. So this was my like first package, and this was my, because I bought like a few different package. So this was my first one, and this we're gonna open actually a new one because I'm not sure. So I just want to open a new one to do a fresh kit. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave the link to this kit right down below, and I believe it's pretty cheap. It's around like $15, $20, $24 around there, but I'm definitely going to leave the link right down below. But you can actually find different kit online. I just used this kit before and I know it's going to work, so we're just going to go ahead and use this kit right in here. So here is the kit right in here. So it's say from Silken Lash Lift Eyelashes Perming Kit. So in here supposed to have all the products you need for the kit, and on the back it's have really specific instruction that you would definitely need to follow. So originally I was gonna do this video like a few months ago, but then I just wanted to try it out first and get all the kinks out, or like kind of learn from my lessons before I like kind of show it to you. But yeah, so honestly the first time I did was pretty good. At least one eye was really good and the other eye was kind of like messed up. So I was having to live with it for like a few months, but it was really unnoticeable. So today we're gonna redo it. So hopefully it's gonna be much better, and from doing things that I learned from last time that I'm not supposed to do. And when you open it, all of this products in here is in there. So in here they have like a box for all the cleaning tool you have in here, and here is all the lifting pads. I'm gonna show you that. And here is all have like all the step. It's all going by like numbers, which step you're supposed to go. So this is because when you do the lift, it's gonna be like really quick. So that's why it's easier for them to like show you like all the number of steps for you to follow when you put it on. So here is the tiny cleaning tool. So in here is have all of this. Have 3 of this like little weirdo thingy, like little plastic. So one side is more like a flat thingy, flat brush for you to like press your lashes on, and the other one have called like a little comb situation right in here. I'm not sure you can see that on camera. They have like really tiny brushes right in there for you to like brush up your lashes. So in here they have like 3 of them right in there, and you probably just need 1 or maybe 2. So just make sure you lay out your whole table what you need, and then just leave this outside because you need them when you need them, because it's really quick when you do all these products. So just make sure you leave everything lay out and not in the back in the box, because you don't want to like stumble and trying to go into the box and trying to find things while your lash is like, what you call that, like working the perm. So here is the lash, the lift pad. So this is the important part for the doing this. Coming like these different silicone thingy right in here. So I'm gonna try to show you. It's really tiny, like right up here, right on the center. If you look really close, it's gonna show you like what size each pad is. And in here they have like small, medium, small 1, small 2, medium 1, medium 2, medium 3, large 1 or whatever. So it does come in different size in these little pad thingies. So just make sure you're picking out the right size for both eye, because you don't want to pick like the medium for the right eye and then a small on the left eye. Then your eyelash would look like kind of wonky and kind of weird, and you don't want to look like that. So from my past lift that I did for the first time, I kind of like missed that area a little bit. Like I was going for medium. I think it was like I didn't really see this little thing, and I just like pick, oh, this pad is look like the same size of this one, but it's actually really like micro different. So I picked like medium 1 and on my right eye, and then medium 2 on my left eye. So when I took it out, it's all kind of like different shape and different sizes. So it was kind of weird for a minute, but I learned how to like kind of fix it. So just make sure you grabbing like the right size. So just look right up here on the center and pick out the right size for both eye. And also one thing that I learned from last time is this pad is, even though it's saying large, it's not really like large when you put against your eyes right in here. It might look weird, but I would recommend going with more like a large, depends on your lashes length. I would recommend going for like a larger size and not going to like I would not go with a small one, because then your lash would not go in for more like an L shape, but it's gonna be like really weird straight up kind of thing. Like it's too small for your lash to go like curve out like this. I would recommend going for more like a higher medium, or at least a large. It's kind of hard to like explain because this thing is like so tiny for your lashes. So if this is like a large one, okay, so your lash is from like the base right down here, you want your lash to kind of like curve up like outward a little bit more, and then curve up to more like a, I would say almost like an L shape, a big C shape if you're going to like too small. So this one is actually kind of like a small one, if you can see it. If this side is like the base of your lashes and you're going for like small, your lash is going to be like going straight up to your eyelid, and that would look super weird and going to be super hard for you to put on your mascara afterward. So you don't want to be your base of your lash right here and then it's going to go straight up. You want to go somewhere more like a soft curve outward and then upward. Does that make sense? So that's why we recommend going something more like a higher medium or a large. So that's what I'm gonna go in today. So I'm just gonna go in with like a large one. because my lash is naturally more straight and slightly more longer, so I want it to be a little bit more like an L shape, a bigger C outward, and not going to be stuck to my face. Okay, so beside all those two boxes in here, you're also gonna get a false lash glue right in here because you need the glue to glue down the pad. And the first one gonna be the perm. The second one gonna be the fixation. So that's gonna be help kind of like set it. And the third one is gonna be more like an afterward to nutrition to keep your lash more hydrated, because after a perm your lash could get a little bit more dry. And the fourth one is to clean before and after. So this is the 4 important one. And again, behind this one is have all the steps that you need right in here. Make sure you read really clearly without the instruction, because it doesn't really follow you from like number 1, 2, 3, and 4, because you're practically gonna go in to clean your lashes first, and then you're gonna perm, and then you're gonna set it, and then you're gonna hydrate. So it's practically number 2, 1, no, number 4, number 1, 2, then 3. So it's kind of like backward a little bit. So I think that's like the first thing that I did, like, oh, it's gonna going by step, going by like 1, 2, 3, and 4, but it's not. So it's gonna be cleaning first, and then after that you wanna put in the perm. So that's what's gonna help set it, and then the fixation is gonna be like keep the perm, and then afterward is gonna be the oil to keep your lash hydrated. I find that these things right in here might be a little bit too hard for you to like fix the lash up. So I did went in and had like a Q-tip, and I just kind of like chop up one of the end. I'm going to use this end to like kind of like push up my lashes. I feel like that's going to be a little bit more easier when you go in and kind of like have to glue down your lash, and this is going to help like kind of like push one lash at a time rather than using this one. Sometimes it's a little bit too big for you to like go in there. That's why I used more like a Q-tip. So I'm cutting out like a bunch of them right in here, because I know I'm probably gonna go in like with a few of them, or you can use more like a toothpick, something a little bit more smaller. And one of the brush, you definitely gonna need more like a spoolie. I would recommend using one of the smaller spoolie on the back of your brows product. So this one is really small, so you can really get right in there and press that right in. So I'm gonna use this one from my Hourglass brows product. Also, you might need like a tweezer, so just put a tweezer on the side, and then scissors. And then one of the important things that you need in the kit that they don't come with is more like a saran wrap. So just grab you like a piece of saran wrap like this. So I just went to the kitchen and grab a big piece like this, because you're gonna need it after to kind of like put on top of your eyes. And with this, you don't need like really big piece. You actually just need more like really small piece that will enough to cover your eyes. So we'll recommend cutting it. This is practically all you need that help kind of like cover your whole eye like this. So we'll cut like 2 pieces and put that right to the side. I know the prepping part is like one of the most important part, because once you start doing the whole process, it's really like quick, and you don't want like to miss a step looking for products. That's why I would recommend prepping everything that you need and putting right in front of you, because when you start the products, and one of the important part is when you do the perm, it's only recommend on number 7. It's only say to 8 to 12 minutes. I would recommend to stay under 10 minutes. I would recommend going like over, because that might be over perming your lashes. Depends how your lash follicle is or how thick your hair is for your lash, because everybody's lash is like more different. My lash is a little bit more thicker, more like Asian hair or whatever. It's a little bit more thicker, more dense, so it can take a little bit more. So I'm gonna definitely leave my lash in for like about 10 minutes, and I would not go over like 10 minutes at all. I think last time I did a little bit too much. Like I went for like 15 minutes and kind of regret that. So make sure it's under 10 minutes. So that's like the important part. I'm telling you all of this right now because when we start, I can't like it's only have one take for me to do it, so I can't really like, you know, telling you what I'm doing it, because when I start, I'm just gonna start it, so it's one take. So also one other thing is they also have like a false lash glue right in here to help glue down the pad to your eyelid. This glue, I just don't think that it's really sticky or glue enough to help hold down these silicone pads, so I recommend using something more like a duo or some other adhesive, lash adhesive. I think that would be a little bit more better than this one, because this doesn't really hold that well. So just use other clear glue that you have. Any other one would be fine. Or without the lash glue, duo glue, something like that would be fine. Would be much better than this one. Oh, and have a really handy hand mirror, or that's something that you can get really close to your lashes, because this is practically really precise surgery precision to your lashes, so you can't really like, excuse my French, but you can't really like f it up for your lashes, because if you f it up, you'll be bald for like the next 2 months or more. So look it up. Yeah, so that's why prep everything, have a drink, take a deep breath, because you're practically not going to start breathing when you're doing this, and start it. Okay, let's start going in and do some surgery on these lashes, and you guys are definitely got up a little bit more closer, and y'all very close right now. Okay, so first off, I would recommend wash your hands. Do this when you have more like a clean face. I have a little bit more concealer powder, bronzer a little bit for the camera, because I don't want it to be like shiny under all these lights with no makeup. So do what I say, not what I do. Okay, so first off, make sure you have clean lashes. I have nothing on my lashes right now, so if you have more like a mascara on your lashes, why? So make sure you're gonna go ahead and remove all your mascara, all that, wash your face, remove all your makeup. That would help the adhesive, the perm, to stick onto your lash a little bit more better. And I find that I would recommend doing this like after you will, like later in the day when you have like a little bit more like oil to your lid, because sometimes when you wash your face too much, or you trying to wash your eye before you doing this, you're kind of like losing your natural oil to the eyelid, and when you put on the perm, it might burn your lid or your eye a little bit, because you don't have that like oil protectant. It's the same thing when you do more like hair perm, because I have some experience when I do my perm. So here I'm gonna leave a photo of the younger Bella, when my mom actually permed my hair when I was little and it was naturally blonde. So enjoy that photo. So first off, I'm just gonna go ahead, so since I did have a little bit more like concealer, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this like cotton pad right in here. So I got these weird situation pad right here from Morphe. This one right in here, the tiny tip. So I have one like really precise tip, and the other one have like a big paddle. So that's what I'm gonna use to kind of like clean off this right in here. So this part right here is all that you needed to glue on the pad. So make sure that part is kind of like dry and clean. And just make sure you don't overwash your lid, because you still kind of want that natural oil to be right in there to kind of like help protecting your hair follicle and your lid at the same time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of like test this pad right in here. So you want to kind of like place this corner right inside your eye, and you want to try to get as close as possible to your lashes. So I'm gonna look like really weird in this video, so just deal with it. So that's just how it works. I look like really deformed and kind of weird with this pad on, but this is what you're gonna look like while you're doing your perm. Practically gonna help stay kind of like this right in there. See how weird that is? So it's gonna be like closest to your lash right in there. So I haven't glued this one on yet, but I'm just trying to like fit it. And at the end right in here, I'm just actually gonna cut off this tail right there a little bit. so it doesn't really bother my eyelid right out here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip this tail right off. So it's kind of like fitting your lashes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my little scissors. Actually just gonna trim up a little bit at the tail. After I cut out the tail, my eye doesn't pull my eye out here so much because that's where my lashes end, so that's where it's gonna go up. So now we're just gonna go ahead and glue this baby down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Ardell glue right in here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit on the back of this pad. I'm gonna use the back of the tweezer to kind of like smear all that glue right in there. So you wanna cover every corner because this whole pad you want it to really stay and stuck right into your lid. And one thing I would recommend, make sure you have a lot of glue on the edges of both sides because you don't want anywhere to be lifting off. If you have more like a watery eye, I would recommend using like a pad underneath your eye to kind of dry it because the watery eye might cause the pad to like kind of like slip off, and you don't want it to slip off in the middle of the perm. Hopefully that's enough. So it's kind of like really like tacky right in here. So now I'm just gonna blow on it a little bit to get it really tacky, and then I'm just gonna really place it right on where I want it. So it's gonna be right in there like this. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and hold it right there for like 30 seconds or something. Keep my right eye closed because I really want that pad to be like really dry and glue right down there because you don't want it to be lifting in the middle of your perm. And I'm gonna try to keep one of my eyes closed while I do this. So that's why I'm recommending, if you can't like keep one eye open and the other eye closed, I will recommend asking somebody else to do it for you or go to more a professional to do this one, because try to have one your eye closed and then the other eye open to kind of like lift the lashes, although trying to talk at the same time. So this is kind of like difficult at the same time, and I don't want to be bald the next day. So just to make sure that you hold it down and make sure that it's really dry. Okay, so as I hold this one, the next step is to apply false lashes glue onto eyelashes and lip pad. Allow glue to eyelash to set into the lip pad for 1 minute. So for this step, I'm actually gonna go ahead and use this one right in here, their lash glue right in there. So one way you can do is fill the whole thing. So what it's practically saying is you gonna glue your lashes up like this, like up to here like this with your lash glue. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I'm just not gonna fill. We'll recommend not filling this whole space because it's gonna dry out too quick. So I would go a little bit at a time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go from the corner a little bit, lift my lashes, go to the next part, lift it, go to the next part, lift it, and go to the next part, lift it. So applying glue like one little bit at a time to lift off the lashes rather than applying on the whole pad and everything dry and you can't really like get it to stay down there. And you want to get it as straight up as possible. You can actually use the comb part for this thing right in here and kind of like help straighten out your lashes because you want them to be as straight as possible. So just take your time and doing this whole process. This is like the weirdest thing I ever done on YouTube. So okay, so after like a hot while, do take your time to do this process because I think this is like one of the important part for you to do when you do your lash lift is to glue and make sure everything is connected the way you want it, and it's kind of like more like straight up where it's supposed to be and not gonna be like wonky like crisscross each other too much. So this is like the best I can do for my lashes. So now actually we're gonna go ahead and do the first step, and that's gonna be more like the perm. I'm like trying to keep one of my eye closed and the other one open, so because I'm like look at the monitor and then doing this at the same time. So if I look a little bit weird, click like and subscribe right down below because I can't believe I'm doing this one on video. Okay, ooh. And just the other one that I recommend, try not to get any of your bottom lashes to be glued right in there to mix up with your perm because you don't want your bottom lashes to be also kind of like curve upward. So that's kind of weird. So next up we're going to go in with the first step right in here, and with this one I'm just going to go ahead and try the other spoolie from this one to like kind of like dip in there for the product. So with this you just want to like you don't want to go all the way to the base of your lashes. You only need from like half up right in the center part right in here. That's why you want to curl. Try to stay away from like the top of your lashes also, because the perm sometimes can like burn off the tip of your lashes, because the tip of your lash is like the most thinnest part. You don't want to burn that part off. Just go ahead and applying like only the center part right in here, and definitely don't go too far to your lash, the root of your lashes. Hold on, one important step. Get your phone and set this for 10 minutes. So you're gonna have this on for 10 minutes after you applying this. So make sure you set your phone 10 minutes right in here. So once I finish, I'm just gonna press 10 minutes, and then we're gonna apply the next step, and that's gonna be the fixation part. So after perm, gonna be fixation. So first up, we're gonna do the perm, and this does have like a weird perming smell to it. Actually, it's have more like a plastic lid. So make sure you take this off before you do the perm, and it does have like really stinky perm smell to it. So remember, you only do this one for 8 to 10 minutes. Don't go over 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and applying a little bit right just on the center part where I don't want it to be perm. Trying your best to stay away from like the tip of your lashes. Trying to like kind of like saturate it, your top lashes, and definitely don't go too low into the root of your lashes, because that might burn your eye. And if you happen to have a little bit more like watery eye, that would definitely burn. So just be really careful. So that's one of the reasons why I don't want to like lose the natural oil from your lashes. But then it's kind of like have nothing to protect your eyelashes or your eyelid. So after you applying your perm right in there, go ahead and click start in 10 minutes. Did it start? Start 10 minutes right in here. And remember, don't push it over 10 minutes because you don't want to burn off your lashes. And now just keep your lashes closed. Use that saran wrap and kind of like cover that part where you have the perm lightly. So it's kind of like help processing the perm a little bit. And just slightly tap that right on top, and don't press it too much. Just kind of like around here. So you're kind of like creating a little bit more like heat. You know when you go to like this, get your hair done or bleach your hair, to kind of like cover with the heat. So it's kind of like going deeper into your lashes to help perm. So this kind of like the same process. So now we're just gonna go ahead and sit here for 10 minutes to help it process. So I'll be back after this beep at 0. And it's time. And that is 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, you're just gonna go ahead and take this off right in here. Ooh, get a little bit steamy up in there. Now that the perm is done after 10 minutes, now we're just gonna go ahead and apply the fixation. So this one is what's gonna help keep the perm stay perm. So the other one is kind of like help lift your lashes, help softening out your lashes, and this one is what's gonna keep it perming or stay perm. So I'm just gonna stick in a new Q-tip stick right in there, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and applying right on top of that perm products after 10 minutes with the fixation. So this one is like the blue one, the blue bottle. So again, just gonna be the same process as the perm. You're gonna put this on your lashes. Try not to get so close to the root of your lashes. And after that, you're just gonna go ahead and cover. I'm just gonna use a new piece of plastic right in there. And again, you're just gonna go ahead and put the cover on. Slightly type that in, making sure the surrounding part is kind of like covered. So you kind of like maintain the heat right in there where the perm part is. Try not to press too hard, that you kind of move it. And again, you're gonna set your timer for another 10 minutes right in there, and it's start. So now we're gonna wait for that to be processed for another 10 minutes, and then we're almost done there. So far so good. My hair is still attached to my face, so we're not bald yet. So that's like a good process. Okay, I'll be back in like 9 minutes and 45 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that after 10 minutes of perm, 10 minutes of fixing, what's that thing called? Fixation. So now is practically done. So now all you have to do is kind of like carefully and lift this up right in here. So next part you just have to like kind of like clean off a little bit. So you can actually use like the spoolie on this time and kind of like brush off all the excess products that is left on your lashes, all the like juicy and creamy from the perm and the fixation. So you don't want to have anything left over right in there, so just making sure that you use like the Q-tip and kind of like clean that part off. And after that you can actually go in with like the cleanser, the nutrition. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the nutrition because this is more like an oil, so oil kind of breaking up the glue a little bit better. And then I'm gonna go in afterward to use the cleanser, so I'm just gonna dip my Q-tip right in there into like the number 3, the nutrition. And since this is more like just a normal oil, and the oil gonna help kind of like breaking up all the lash glue right in there where you put on your lashes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and brush that right in there and breaking up all the glue from your lashes. And also it's kind of like help your lash hydrate at the same time rather than using the cleanser that's kind of like stripping off your oil a little bit more. And now you're practically kind of like done. After you kind of like help loosening up the glue, now you can actually practically taking off the pad, and here is kind of like the review of your lashes. Ooh. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of like cleaning off the glue with the oil a little bit. Actually, I want to go in with a little bit of the cleanser to help cleaning up all the glue part. Okay guys, so that's gonna be like kind of like the final result. I'm not sure if you can really see on camera, but after I kind of like taking off and kind of, it's taking me a little bit while to clean up all the glue part because it's really stick in there. I feel like it's gonna be easy when I like actually get to wash my whole face and kind of like work my cleanser in there to really remove all the glue. There might be a little bit still glue in there, but here is going to be like the final result. So here is like kind of like my eye before the lift, and after the lift you can see it's kind of like give you a little bit more like a lift, a natural curl to your lashes. So it's going to be kind of like this to my eyes. So this you can see like the different the eye that didn't get curl is kind of like more like a straight because my lash is natural kind of like straight and it's kind of like going downward. So after using this, it's kind of like help keep my lash curl up a little bit more. So this is gonna definitely stay up there for like a month and a half. About, I think the last time I did was about 2-3 months ago, and I was waiting for everything to kind of like start straightening out again and kind of like falling down again. So this is practically what you're gonna get when you kind of like waking up in the morning. So you get like that natural curl to your lashes. So it's kind of like one of my new favorite things I like to do. It's kind of like perming my lashes. So that is kind of like the final result. So different pad is kind of like give you a different curl. I'm using the large one, so I don't want it to be like over curl, because even though we're cleaning up all the perm and all the fixing products, it's still kind of working its perm right now, because sometimes your lash get a little bit more drier, so it's gonna get more curl the next day. So it might not be so curl today, but the next day it's gonna be more curl as like the next day or two. So yeah, so now I'm definitely gonna go in and do my other eye, because I feel like my left eye, because I'm right-handed, my left eye gonna be a little bit more difficult for me to do. So I'm definitely gonna do that off camera. Then I'll be back and tell you the final result of this lash lift. I'm gonna be right back to do my Hi guys, so I am back with both of my lashes done. So here is the right side after I done the lift, and here is the left side after I done the lift. So I would recommend use it every 2 months, and after you do your first perm like this one, I would recommend not washing or get your lash wet for like the next few hours, like 3 or 4 hours, because it's still very because you just treat it with kind of like a chemical, so you don't want it to damage your lashes. So yeah, so I guess that's gonna be it for this lash lift application. One other thing I recommend is make sure you have really steady hand when you do this. You do treat your lash with like a chemical, and it's have like it could burn your eyelid if you happen to do it wrong, or sometimes a lot of people have more like a teary eye, and sometimes the teary eye could kind of like loosen up the glue a little bit, and sometimes the perm can get into the tear and get into your eye, and it does burn in the middle of the process. If your eyes happen to do burn like that, just make sure you wash it out instantly. And another tip that I learned, that sometimes if you do more like if you happen to curl your lashes up, kind of over curl it a little bit, the one thing is just wait for the next, I would wait for like a week for you to do this. So you're just gonna get like a spoolie and kind of like dip into like the perming, the number 1 a little bit, and you're just gonna go ahead and kind of like brushing it downward if you happen to kind of like over perm it and it's lifting up a little bit too much with your lash, because sometimes that happen if you're picking out the number like the smaller size than what it's supposed to be. That's why I always recommend using more like a medium and up, and don't use the smaller size, because that could make you a little bit too over curl. So you just dip your brush into the perming solution and go ahead and just gonna brush it like kind of like downward. So what you do is kind of like pushing the curl back down. So what the perm does is kind of like help softening out your hair. So it's kind of like slowly straighten it a little bit, but it's not gonna straighten it completely like before. You still have to wait for it to completely straight, but that's gonna help kind of like recurl it and reshape it to a little bit more flatter, so it doesn't look so over curl. And just leave that on for about, I would say 5 or 6 minutes, and that's it. And just clean it out, and then go back in with the fixation, the number 2, and do that again, and leave it that on for like another 5 or 6 minutes, and just wash it off. And that should kind of like lower the curl a little bit if you happen to do a little bit more over curl. And that happened sometime. I think that happened to me like last time for one of my eye, like my left eye was like a little bit more over curl than I want it to be, because I kind of like used the wrong size, because it really look at like this medium 1 and then medium 2 and then medium 3. So I thought, oh, it's just medium, so I just slapped it on my eyeball. So my right eye was like medium 3 or 2 or something like that, and my left eye was like a smaller size. So that caused it to kind of like over curl. So that kind of like the one way for you to kind of like not make it over curl. Oh, and one more thing, just make sure you don't keep your lashes wet for the next few hours. And when you kind of like wet it, because your hair is still kind of like dry, so it's kind of like trying to suck in as much water as possible. So sometimes it does kind of stick together, and that would be totally fine. Just wait for it like 3 or 4 days, and then gonna be back kind of like to normal once your natural lash oil kind of like get back to the hair follicle. So don't worry if they kind of like clumps or like your lash kind of like stick together. That would be fine. But yeah, try not to get your lash wet for the next 3 or 4 hours. And again, if you don't have a stable hand, do go to more like a professional to do it for you. I'm just doing this for like entertainment, and I did it like just once. And again, I'm not like a specialist on lashes or anything, or esthetician or anything like that. So go to an esthetician or your lash curler people, the professional, to do it if you're not comfortable to do it yourself. And that is about it. If you feel like this video is kind of helpful or entertaining, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel right down below, and ring the bell button right here for next week notification. I post on YouTube almost every single Wednesday. Also a smaller version of IGTV every single Friday. And with that said, don't forget to follow me on all my social media at bella.c.snow. Okay, I guess wear a mask, and I'll see you again on my next video. Okay, bye bye. my process.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
We're doing a Lash perm today.
No.
The one that I did before.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fucked up a little bit. Let's try not to fuck this one up.
Looks like something out of Star Trek. Borg.
What? What's this?
Mm-hmm.